Hi, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to Politics Today. This is your number one unofficial spokesperson of the Obidient campaign. You would have seen this video going around online, a politician lying through his teeth. So let's just listen to him and we're going to follow him and analyze the video together. So let's go. Let's play that video.
On the other question of the bullion van or no bullion van and all of that, I think that matter have been put to rest. There was no money in the bullion van. The bullion van that even came missed the address to have come there.
All right, so let's just stop here. So on the question of bullion van or no bullion van, it's not the question of bullion van or no bullion van. That was bullion van. Okay. So he said he has been laid to rest. He said there was no money in the bullion van and the bullion van would have missed the address to have come there. How did you find out there's no money in the bullion van? I know. He must have smelled his fingers to figure out there was no money in the bullion van. Uncle, well done. And then he says the bullion van might have missed or must have missed the address. Let's just listen to him a little bit more. Uncle, go ahead.
It means the address to have come there, and that was why the bullion van was.
But why was bullion van moving on election day? I thought there was supposed to be no movement.
No, there was not an election day. It was not. It was Rufai.
So this question that Rufai asked probably put Rufai off a little bit because he's our guy. We always trust him to get these guys, but I think he got his stats a little bit wrong. So it was a day before the election. Okay, we'll take that. However, this guy will go ahead and let's just listen to him. Let's finish the video just about a minute. Let's finish.
I was in that house on that very day. It was not an election.
So it was the day before election. But
It was
bullion van moving
the
everywhere?
bullion van was missed the address.
So he refused to acknowledge if it was the day before the election or not. So he wasn't really sure. So he was just trying to play defensive there. They tried to hold him to the fact that it was a day before the election. He wouldn't answer. Now, if you have watched that video, maybe I'll try to see if I can find it. But if you had watched that video, you would see that there were people lined up on the street waiting for the bullion van. But let's just listen to Uncle. Uncle, go ahead, please.
To have come there.
I thought your presidential candidate had actually said that what's people's business with how he spends money.
I watched it. He said that jokingly. Okay. It was a joking statement.
So the bullion van
The
missed.
same way, Mr. Dango.
So he was prepared to come and lie on this station because he wouldn't even let him finish making a comment about what his principal said. So let's just continue. Uncle, go ahead.
They said that when he wanted to authenticate and get his mindset that truly he has money, he went to cash 1 million naira, brought it to his house, sat and looked at his money and returned it to the bank.
No, but I just want to get this right. You said the
No, it is not the same way. Dangote actually had 1 million naira in the bank. He went and collected it. It's 1 million naira. How big will it? It's not a bullion van situation. He went and collected 1 million naira, put it in his trunk, he told us, in his boot, drove it home, brought it out, put it in his living room to confirm he owns the money, put it back in the car, not a bullion van, took it back. It's not the same way. And it's not sarcasm. He said he did that. He said he took the money literally to be sure that this is his money. It wasn't the same way. But this is how they play this logic that they call strawman argument or strawman logic. They will twist something and shift the focus to talk about something else, unrelated, just to fill the whole time with words or talks that is irrelevant. So let's continue. Uncle, please go ahead.
bullion van missed his way to come into the place.
Yes.
But that place is not a known bank, or was it a bank? I just want to get to the root of it.
There are some companies that have high staff that pay their staff with cash, right?
Please wait for it. So the place was not a known bank, and our Rufai is coming back to him to say, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Then he's gonna now spin this. There are companies that have high staff that pay them in cash. Let's go ahead. Uncle,
That
go ahead.
bullion van missed his way there. And it was not invited by Ashwaju or anybody.
Comrade.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So the bullion van missed its way. It wasn't invited by anybody. It came in there. You guys, how you guys figure out it was empty? Did you open it? If there were companies that have high staff that pay them in cash, then there are two scenarios. It's either that place where you are, they mistook it as the place, as the company, as the address they were supposed to take the money to. In that case, they wouldn't be empty. They will have money. If they're going to pay the so-called high staff, there will be money in the bullion van. The other way is they've already gone and paid the money and they're returning to the bank where they came from. You're saying they forgot the address where they came from because they would have come from a bank. So did they forget that they came from a bank and now went to a residential area? Oh my word. These guys, I don't know what they think, we are or what they take us for. But I think I have a guy who has a word for these guys. So let's just listen to him and address this situation once and for all. Okay, let's go ahead. Obama, over to you.
We see the utter loss of shame among political leaders where they're caught in a lie and they just double down and they lie some more. If you caught them lying, they'd be like, oh man. Now they just keep on lying.
So that's it. You catch these guys lying and they just keep on lying. And that is what it is. You catch them lying, they just lie some more. And this, my friends, cannot continue. You know what to do. You know what to do. This election is about rescuing Nigeria. We cannot allow these guys to continue business as usual. We must rescue our country. We must rescue our country, okay? We cannot let these guys continue doing what they've been doing and think that it is normal. It is not normal, ladies and gentlemen. It is not normal, and we are not going to allow it to continue. So we have to go to the polls and show them that we are smarter than they're taking us for. These guys are taking us for granted. We are not going to let that continue. All right. We will not let that continue. I am calling you right now, my friends. Make sure that you have your PVCs. Make sure that you go out and vote. Make sure you vote. And when you vote, you know whom we are voting for. We are voting for Peter Gregory Obi of the Labour Party, right? This is the person we are voting for. So if you look at the picture that I'm going to show you right now in a second on the screen, that is behind that guy, you see people gathered around the bullion van, the so-called empty bullion van. These guys are taking us for granted. We will not let that continue. Get your PVC. Make sure you vote for Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed. Vote for these guys. You have to put your fingers between the lines. On the valid vote is the one you have on the left hand side, and the invalid vote on the right hand side. Make sure you don't touch the line. Vote for Labour Party. Let's rescue Nigeria. All right, friends. Again, this is your number one unofficial spokesperson of the Obi Dati campaign. Let's get it right this time around. Let your vote be an answer to your prayers. If you know the kind of Nigeria you want, speak through your vote. I told you before, don't sell your vote. Why? Because your vote is your voice and your voice is your conscience. Okay, don't sell your vote. If you sell your vote, you have sold your voice. If you sell your voice, you have sold your conscience, you have sold your right. And you should not complain for another 4 years. Look at how much things are costing today. Rice rose from 8,000 to 46,000 in 7 years. But your salary, the minimum wage remained at 30,000. Things have never been this bad. All right, you hear about NNPC making zero money, but spending 33 billion in a year, 33 billion in recharge cards and entertainment. 33 billion, but made nothing. If you put 33 billion in a fixed deposit or in a bank, at least you make something out of it. Buy some shares, some equity, buy something, some securities with 33 billion, but they got nothing, zero, nothing remitted. We cannot continue like this, guys. We have to rescue Nigeria and put it in the hands of people who are accountable and who can be trusted, who can be accountable to us. And this is just the beginning. This OB movement is just the beginning, right? We should keep it this way going forward. This is a movement that must outlive one politician or one election cycle. We must demand that all elected officers must be accountable to us because they are stewards. It is required of stewardship that a man must be accountable. It must be trustworthy, must be faithful, right? They must be accountable to the public trust, to the trust that we're giving to them. We cannot let this continue. It cannot be business as usual. All right. Get your PVCs. If you have, I heard there was an extension. It was supposed to have ended 2 days ago. But if it hasn't ended, please make sure you get your PVC and make sure you go out and vote. And when you vote, sit there and make sure your vote is counted. Don't let what happened in Osun State happen here, even though that is still debatable. That's still in the court. But don't let them come and tell you that, oh, you didn't, there was not enough accredited voters and therefore they have to annul it. I don't even understand that situation where INEC would give someone a number of beavers, accredited voters, and then get another one themselves. And the same INEC. INEC should get themselves together, and Nigerians must hold them accountable. What is happening in Osun State cannot continue. They cannot, INEC, the same INEC, they cannot give you this number and say, okay, you are the opposing party, you are contesting this result that I release, I am INEC, and I release this result, you are contesting it. Anyways, here is the result. And then when they are called to defend themselves in court, they say, okay, here is a different result. They call it updated or augmented, whatever they call it. This cannot continue. This cannot continue. And Adeleke, even though he's not the candidate I'm rooting for, but this Adeleke guy should be returned to his, well, let the court decide that. But if there's anybody that should be held accountable, it should be INEC. It should be INEC who gave 2 numbers, because the 2 numbers were from INEC. INEC gave one to APC and then gave another one to the court. It shouldn't happen. We can't do this going forward. We must hold INEC accountable. And if they're incompetent, they should just leave. We're trying to rescue this nation. We don't need more confusion. All right, guys, you know what to do. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Let's get Nigeria back. All right. I'm going to see you all in the next episode.